Hey guys, good morning. We're here with another session for useful English expressions. As you know, I'm doing A to Z, going through the topics. So I had some good news for you guys. As a lot of you had been asking, we were working on uploading the previous sessions, and the first session was uploaded onto YouTube, so you guys can go check that out. I made a story with the link in it, and you guys can go and take a look at it if you missed it. If you just want to review it, you can check it out as well. Hey, thank you for joining me. Hi, Vahid. Hi to the rest of you guys. Good morning. It's good to see you guys here. Thanks a lot for joining me today. Um, Today, we're going to continue with our A to Z of useful English expressions. I think today we're actually going to finish A. A was a really long one because there's a lot of different expressions we use for asking about things. But we're definitely going to finish it today. Today's session might be a little bit shorter because I have some things to do afterwards, but I'll make up for it with next session. We'll see how far it goes, okay? Today we're going to start with talking about our attitude to the future. Now, this word attitude, some of you might not know what it means. When we talk about somebody's attitude, we basically mean their view, their perspective, their feelings, and how they look at something. Hi, Sahar. Thanks for joining in. I'm going to talk about some expressions that you can use to talk about something that is going to happen in the future, in some time, some couple of days from now, a couple of months from now, or in the next year. And I'm going to teach you some expressions to talk about something positive that's going to happen, to talk about something that you really want to happen, and then some the expressions for expressing some negative emotions about something that is going to happen. Hey, Abedi Jebeli and Saeed. Good to see you guys. Good morning. Thank you for joining in. Yes. And oh, hey guys, there's Nader. He is the guy who is uploading the YouTube videos. So thanks a lot to you, Nader. You are awesome, man. I really appreciate all your hard work. He finished uploading the last session. So go ahead and check out the YouTube channel if you guys want to review what we talked about, or if you missed it and you want to see it. I hope you guys find these useful. Good morning, Sogoli. Good to see you again. I'm going to get started. As always, I'm going to turn off the comments. If you have any questions, write them down. After I'm done talking about the expressions, I'm going to turn on the comments again and you guys can ask your questions, okay? Here we go. Oh, and hi, Hamid Reza. Sorry, I missed you saying hi there. Good to see you. Thank you for joining in. Okay, so I'm going to turn off comments. Don't forget to write down your questions if you have any and ask me afterwards, okay? Here we go. Okay, so in today's session, we're going to talk about expressions that we can use to express our attitudes to the future. There are some things in our life that happen, at some point that is not right now, some point tomorrow or next week or next month or next year. And sometimes we want to talk about how positive or negative our feelings are. So these are the expressions we can use. All right, let's get started. The first expression that we can use is I'm really looking forward to. I'm really looking forward to. So, with this expression, we are looking forward to something positive that is going to happen. So, for example, I'm really looking forward to the next live session. Hey, uh, you can also, instead of using the word really, use the word so, and the meaning of the expression stays the same. So we can say, I'm so looking forward to. I'm so looking forward to. This expression can also be used with gerund, so with the ing form of a verb, to express some future action we're going to take. So, for example, I'm so looking forward to going to the movies. Okay? So, something like that, if you're going to the movies like at the end of the week, you can say, I'm so looking forward to watching that movie. Okay? This is an expression we use for something positive. When we say I'm really looking forward to, I'm so looking forward to, it means that I can't wait for it to happen. Okay? I really can't wait. I'm excited about it. All right, so that brings us to our second expression, which is I can't wait until. I can't wait until. So this kind of expression is similar to the previous one. We use it for something positive that is going to happen. So I can't wait until my grandma comes to visit. Okay? I can't wait until I get to see you again. As you guys can see, this expression, we have to use it with some other sentence or clause. So we need to add something at the end of it, some other clause at the end of it for it to be proper. So whenever we want to express how excited we are something, we can also use I can't wait until. Now, there is some expression that isn't used as much as these other ones, but I put it here because I want you guys to know, if you hear it, I want you to know what it means. And the expression is roll on. Okay, usually when we want some day to happen sooner, so we can't wait until it's Friday, we really want it to be Friday, we use this expression roll on. So for example, roll on next Friday. It's the day I go out, okay? So we usually say, the time frame that we want to come sooner, and then we explain why. Why? Roll on next Monday. It's going to be my birthday. Okay? So something like that. This expression, like I said, you don't hear it too often. Usually people use I'm really looking forward to, or I can't wait. There is another expression, however, that we hear often, and it is I'm counting the days till. I'm counting the days till. So again, in this expression, we're saying that we can't wait for something to happen. So I'm counting the days till my birthday. I'm counting the days till I get to see you again. So we're expressing, I can't wait. I really want. I'm waiting for it so much. I'm counting the days. I'm counting how long it takes for us to get there. Okay. All of these expressions I've talked about are very positive expressions. They are expressions we use to talk about something good that is going to happen sometime in the future. Okay. Now, these expressions that I mentioned so far can be used for major events or minor events. When I say major, I mean like a big event. like going on a trip or something like buying a house or something like that. When I say a minor event, I mean like, going out with your friends, something a little bit smaller, but still exciting. Going out with your friends, going to a restaurant you really like, something like that, okay? This next expression is something we usually use for bigger events, for the major events. And it is, I've set my heart on. I've set my heart on. So these are things that we want to happen, and we're usually working towards making them happen, okay? So, for example, if you are working really hard to get into some university, you say, I've set my heart on the University of British Columbia. Okay, I really want to go there. So I've set my heart on visiting Paris. Again, we can use a gerund with this expression to talk about something that we're going to do in the future, okay? I've set my heart on going to the University of British Columbia, okay? Usually we use this expression for the major events because there's something that we're working towards, okay? And now we have another expression when we're saving money, to do something. We can use this one. It is, I'm saving up to. I'm saving up to. Because after this expression we have to, we have to follow up with an infinitive of a verb, so the simple form of it. So I'm saving up to come back and do another term. Okay? I'm saving up to buy a car. I'm saving up to go on a trip. Okay? So this is how you use this expression properly. We use this expression when we are saving money to do something in the future and we're looking forward to it, okay? And now these next expressions I'm going to talk about are ones we use when we want to talk about something that isn't so positive. Maybe we don't really want to do it, but we have to do it at some point, okay? So the first one is, sooner or later, I'll get around. I'll get round to it. Okay? Sooner or later, I will get round to it. So we use this expression when we want to talk about something we don't really feel excited about doing, but we have to do. So for example, sooner or later, I'll get round to washing the dishes. I don't really want to wash the dishes, but sometimes I'll have to do it at some point. Sooner or later, I'll get round to writing my paper. Okay, something like this where you're not really excited about doing it, but you have to do it anyway. The next expression is a little bit more negative because you're really talking about something that you don't want to do, but you have to do at some point. So the expression is, one day I'm going to have to. One day I'm going to have to. We use this expression, with a infinitive again because there's a to here. So you use it to talk about something that you don't want to do. So for example, if you really like your car, but you know you have to sell it at some point, you say, one day I'm going to have to sell my car. One day I'm going to have to go away. One day I'm going to have to leave university. Okay, so something that you don't want to do, you don't really think it's exciting to do, but you have to do it. It's a more negative way of saying it. Um, the next expression is also for something that we don't want to do, but we have to do, but we're being lazy about doing. It is I'm trying to put off something as long as I can. Okay, so when we want to talk about something we don't want to do, so for example, washing the dishes. Who wants to wash the dishes? I'm trying to put off washing the dishes as long as I can. Now, as you guys noticed, again, we're using the gerund of the verb, the ing form of the verb. I'm trying to put off writing my homework as long as I can. Okay? So we use this kind of expression when we want to talk about something we have to do, but we don't really want to do, and we're not very excited about doing it. Now, the last expression is really negative. We just hate, whatever is going to happen. We can use it for something like a verb, an action that's going to happen, or an event that's going to happen. For example, I'm really dreading selling my car. I'm really dreading going to university. So I really want to show, how much I don't want to do this. It's really negative. I don't want to do it. It's not something I'm excited about. We can use this. You can use it with really or without really. So you can just say, I'm dreading. If you don't want to use really, you don't want to emphasize it as much, you say, I'm dreading them coming over, an event. Or use it with a gerund, ing. I'm dreading having to give up my car. Okay? All right, guys. So I'm going to turn on our comments. If you guys have any questions, please go ahead and ask them now. I hope you guys found this session to be useful so far. If you are just joining in, good morning. Thank you for joining me. We just covered some expressions about attitudes to the future. Don't worry if you missed it. You can check it out. I'm going to put the live on as my story for 24 hours. And then at some point, it's going to be also on YouTube. I'll post the links on YouTube. Can you pronounce the last structure? Yes, Mojtaba. So the last one was I'm dreading. Dreading. That's D-R-E-A-D-I-N-G. I will write these for you guys in a story like at some point today as well, so don't worry about the spelling. I'm really dreading. Dreading. Okay? Dreading means when you don't want something to happen, you're feeling really bad about it. Hey, Riasi, nice to see you. Thank you for joining in. Good morning to everybody who is just joining us right now. Yeah, I'm doing good, man. Thanks. If you guys missed the first part, don't worry about it. I'm going to post these again, and they're going to be posted on YouTube as well. Thank you guys for posting the spelling. Awesome. I'm also going to post my notes for these at some point today. So you guys can check back my page and you'll see all these expressions. I'll type them out, okay? Hi, Asif. Good to see you. Thank you for joining in. All right, guys. So if there are no questions, I'm going to go to the next part. The next expressions we're going to learn are going to be for avoiding giving information, okay? Sometimes we don't want to talk about something, and these are really useful expressions we can use when we don't want to talk about something, okay? So I'm going to turn off comments for now. If you have any questions, write them down and ask me afterwards, okay? And here we go. All right. So, as I said, sometimes we just don't want to talk about something. And, we don't want to, we want to be polite about it, but a lot of times you just can't be polite about telling somebody, I don't want to tell you, right? These expressions I'm going to talk about are used for these kind of times when we just don't want to say something, okay? So the first one that you hear a lot from celebrities or politicians, you just hear this on TV a lot, is no comment. No comment. So if somebody asks you a question and you don't want to answer it, you just say no comment. Usually, this is something that people say on TV to reporters. A reporter asks them, can you tell us about something? And they say, I have no comments. So, no comments means I don't want to talk about something that is difficult or embarrassing or for whatever reason. I don't want to talk about it, okay? In everyday conversations, we usually don't say no comment. You can say it, there's no reason you can't. It's just not as common. I included it here so if you guys hear it on TV or in the movie, you know what it means, okay? So the next expression is I'm not at liberty to say. I'm not at liberty to say. This is a very formal way of saying I can't tell you about something, okay? This is a very formal and polite way of saying I can't tell you something. And this, when you say I'm not at liberty to say something, it means that there's some rule, there's some law that doesn't let you tell them. For example, if you are a lawyer and somebody asks you about your client, you can say, I'm not at liberty to say, that is information that's for somebody else. If you're a teacher, somebody asks you about your students, you can say, I'm not at liberty to say because you're not supposed to talk about your students, right? So anytime there's some rule that prevents you from talking about something, you can say, I'm not at liberty to say. For example, if your friend tells you a secret and somebody asks you about it, you say, hey, I'm not at liberty to say. It's a secret, okay? Another way we can avoid answering something is this expression that we actually learned for one of our other sessions. It's wait and see. Wait and see. So when somebody asks you about something that is going to happen in the future and you don't want to answer them, you can say wait and see. A lot of times, like I said before, we use this expression when we want to surprise somebody, okay? So your friend is like, hey, are you guys going to have a birthday party for me? You say, hey, just wait and see. I don't know, man. So this is a sort of thing when we don't want to talk about some future event, like, when are you coming over to see me? Wait and see. Uh, when you want to surprise someone or you just don't want to talk about it, okay? The next one is let me get back to you. Let me get back to you. This is also a very polite and formal way of saying I don't want to talk to you right now. You can use it if you're on the phone with somebody and they ask you about something. You say, hey, let me get back to you, about that. Or if somebody asks you a question you just don't want to answer right now, you say, I'll get back to you on that. Let me get back to you. Okay? The next one is also very formal. I'm sorry, that's confidential. I'm sorry, that's confidential. This is similar to I'm not at liberty to say. When we say something is confidential, it means it's personal, it's a secret, it's something that, it's not information that's for me, it's somebody else's information. I'm sorry, that's confidential. Again, if you're a lawyer or a doctor or somebody who has access to information from other people, if somebody asks you for it, you say, I'm sorry, that's confidential. This expression is very formal. It should be used mostly in a business setting. You probably don't use it with your friends or your family. If you're talking to your friends or family, you can say, sorry, that's personal. Okay? Sorry, that's personal. So if your friend asks you something about personal, you say, sorry, that's personal. So when we say personal, there are some topics that are just, about you. For example, your relationship with somebody else. It's personal. It's between the two of you. Your political views can be personal. Your religious views can be personal. So if somebody asks you a question that you feel uncomfortable to answer about yourself, you can say, that's personal, or sorry, that's personal. Uh, this is any information that you think is considered to be private information, okay? Uh, and you don't want to share it. Okay, the next expression is very commonly used. This is a really good one to learn. Anytime you don't want to talk about something, you can use this. I'd rather not talk about it. I would rather not talk about it. I'd rather not talk about it. So, anytime about any topic, if it's personal or not, if somebody tells you, like, hey, what happened on your test, you say, I'd rather not talk about it. Why did I not do good on my test? I'd rather not talk about it. It's a polite way of saying I don't want to talk about something. Uh, it's private or whatever the reason. I just don't want to talk about it. Okay. This is a really common expression, guys. In your everyday conversation, you're pretty much guaranteed to use this one anytime you don't want to talk about something in a professional setting, in a casual setting, formal, informal. It works everywhere. Now, if you're for some reason, like in a formal setting, you can obviously use the other expressions we talked about. Those are a lot more polite, but this is okay too. This is a polite way of saying, I don't want to talk about something. Now, a more impolite way of saying I don't want to talk about something, and this is a rude way of saying it, is mind your own business. If you tell somebody to mind their own business, basically you're saying that they're being nosy, that they're doing something they shouldn't be doing, okay? So it is rude, it's impolite. You're criticizing the other person for asking some question that they shouldn't ask, okay? So if you probably don't want to use this unless it's with your friend or with your family or somebody that you're okay, criticizing. Uh, Usually using this in a business or in a formal setting is not a good idea because it's offensive. It can be offensive to the person. But if somebody is asking you a lot of private questions and you just tell them, I'd rather not talk about it, I don't want to talk about it, and they keep on going, you say, mind your own business. Mind your own business, okay? This is the same as telling somebody you're being nosy. You're just asking inappropriate questions. Another way of avoiding answering something is never mind you. Never you mind. Sorry. Never you mind. Never you mind. So somebody asks me, hey, what happened on your test? Never you mind. Okay. I'm just saying, I'm not actually giving them any information. I'm just giving them I don't want to talk about it. And never you mind is it's not impolite, but it's not exactly polite either. It's more polite to say, I'd rather not talk about it. But you can just, in a casual setting, say, never you mind, okay? And this is the last one, is something that parents use for their children a lot. Children ask a lot of questions that you might not want to answer. So this is a really good one if you have kids. I'll tell you when you're older. I'll tell you when you're older. So if some kids ask you some questions and you just don't want to answer them right now, you can use this expression. For example, if kids want to ask you, where do babies come from? You can tell them, I'll tell you when you're older, okay? So I'm going to turn on comments again. If you guys have any questions, please go ahead and ask them, and I'd be happy to answer them. If you're just joining us right now, welcome. Good morning to you. We just talk about some expressions we can use to avoid giving information. You know, sometimes you just don't want to talk about something, and it's useful to know how to politely say that, or if you don't want to be polite, how to impolitely say that. These expressions are, some of them are a little bit more common than others, but all the ones I'm using, you might hear in a movie or on TV. That's why I'm using that. I prefer not to say it's none of your business. Yeah, there you go, Hamid Reza. If you say it's none of your business, it is a little bit impolite, but you know, if somebody is getting on your nerve, you can absolutely use it. How about none of your business and it's private? You can say, yeah, you can say it's none of your business, it's private. You know, adding the none of your business or mind your own business is a little bit impolite. Yes, they're absolutely applicable, Hamid Reza. But it's a little bit impolite to say it's none of your business. It's basically saying, you know, go away, you're bothering me. That's the kind of thing you're saying. You can just say it's private, you know, it's personal, it's private, it's okay. Which one is better for personal? So if somebody asks you a personal question, you can just say, sorry, that's personal. That's private. I'm not going to answer it. You know, that's personal. Or you can say, I'd rather not talk about it. I'd rather not talk about it is universally good for every situation. Anything you don't want to talk about, it's a polite way of saying, you know, I don't want to talk about this topic. But it is, if it's a personal question, you can just say, you know, that's personal. I'm not going to answer that. You know, if somebody asks you, hey, I don't know, like, what do you think about, what do you think about some politician? You can say that's my personal view. I don't want to talk about it. Okay, that's personal. All right, guys. So let's see, how much time do we have? Yeah, I think I can do this next one really quickly and end it after that. So we finished all our A topics. We're going to start now. I'm going to try to go from A to Z. Liberty means not allowed. Yeah, liberty means freedom. So when you say I'm not at liberty, it means I'm not allowed. I don't have the freedom to say something, okay? This word liberty is a synonym for freedom. So, you know, if you're free to do something, you're allowed to do it. If you're not at liberty, it means you are not allowed to do it, okay? Good questions, guys. So the first topic we have for the B's is bad people. In this topic, I'm going to talk about how we can use some expressions to reference, you know, bad people. So when I say bad people, I mean people who are for some reason or another, you know, not very nice people. Okay. So I'm going to turn off comments. You can ask me questions afterwards. Please write down your questions so you don't forget to ask them. Here we go. All right. So sometimes we just can't stand somebody. You know, for some reason we don't think somebody is nice. We think they suck. Okay, and we want to talk about them to somebody else. These expressions, they are kind of rude and impolite to say to somebody. So all these expressions, you usually don't say it to somebody's face. Usually use these expressions to talk about somebody behind their back, to gossip about them, okay? So when you want to talk to your friends about somebody else, you would use this expression. So the first one is a crook. A crook. When we say somebody is a crook, for example, Tom is a crook. When we say somebody is a crook, we mean they are somehow a criminal. They're, they somehow break the law, okay? Usually, when we call somebody a crook, it means that they run scams, they like to lie to people, or they somehow break the law. They're not a good person. So somebody who steals things is a crook. Somebody who lies to take your money is a crook. Somebody who does anything that is illegal is a crook. So if you want to talk about somebody who you think is a liar, who you think is somehow stealing or, just not a nice person, you can call them a crook, okay? The next one is a villain. This one isn't very common in everyday speaking, but you hear this in movies a lot. In a movies, especially superhero movies, the villain is the bad guy in the movie. So for example, in Batman movies, Joker was a villain. Joker is a villain of Batman movies. In everyday conversation, usually we don't use villain. It means like a guy who's really evil, the bad guy. We usually use more common terms like a scumbag. A scumbag. When we call somebody a scumbag, it means they are morally wrong. They make choices that are bad. They make bad choices all the time. They have a low status, okay? So, for example, people who rob elderly people are total scumbags. People who rob elderly people are total scumbags. So people who steal from old people are scumbags, okay? They're people who are doing something that is really wrong. We think it's really wrong and, they're just not good people. The next one is used for talking about a woman who we think is really evil. We call them an evil witch. An evil witch. It's not as common as the other ones, but you might hear it. It refers to a woman who we think is just not a very nice person. She is an evil witch for whatever reason, because she's not nice to people. The next one is a heartless jerk, a heartless guy, whatever. A heartless, your favorite demeaning noun, a heartless jerk, a heartless dude. So when we say somebody is heartless, it means that they don't have normal human feelings and kindness, okay? They're very cold, they're a very cold person. So for example, if somebody if you see somebody who's hurt, everybody gets worried about them, we're asking how they're doing. If somebody is laughing at them, or if somebody is, happy about it, we say they're heartless. They don't feel kindness towards someone, okay? Their heart doesn't exist. So when we call somebody heartless, it's because they're not a very kind person. They don't have sympathy for other people. You can use this word heartless if somebody doesn't cry in a movie, like some part of a movie is just really emotional and somebody doesn't cry, you can say, hey, you're really heartless, man. That was a really emotional part of the movie, okay? So the next one is a nasty piece of work. A nasty piece of work. So when we want to talk about someone who's very unpleasant and who does a lot of unpleasant things to people, who does a lot of bad things to people, we call them a nasty piece of work. He likes to bully people. He's a nasty piece of work because he likes to bully people. He likes to bully people who are weaker than him. The next one is a psycho or a psychopath. A psycho or a psychopath. This is actually a medical psychological term. If you use it properly, it refers to a psychological sickness that somebody is unable to feel normal feelings. But in everyday conversation, if we say Tom is a psycho or Tom is a psychopath, what we're saying is we're saying they're crazy, they are crazy and they are evil. They do bad things and they're just out of their mind, okay? So if you call somebody a psycho or a psychopath, it usually means they're violent, they do violent things, and they're just not right in the head, okay? And the next one, a totally ruthless person. So Tom is a totally ruthless person. Tom is totally ruthless. When we say somebody is ruthless, it means that they don't worry about hurting other people, okay? They don't worry about hurting anybody. So somebody who is ruthless, and this can be emotional hurting or it can be physical pain, okay? So somebody who, for example, says mean things and they hurt people's feelings, they are ruthless, okay? So if Tom tells people they're ugly or tells them, wow, that is an ugly bag you have, they're being ruthless. They're trying to hurt people's feelings. Or if they do it physically, if they don't care when they're running, if they hit people and they don't care if they hurt them, they're being ruthless, okay? So a totally ruthless person is somebody who doesn't care about hurting other people. This next one, a creep, is a little bit harder to explain. A creep is somebody who makes you feel really uncomfortable, but they're not evil necessarily. They're not necessarily evil. They just make you feel really uncomfortable or odd or unpleasant, okay? So it doesn't, they don't have to do something bad. They don't have to do something that is necessarily evil. It's just something that makes you uncomfortable. Like, for example, if somebody's staring at you and you just don't know why, they keep on staring at you and you're feeling uncomfortable, you're feeling awkward, you can say that guy is a creep. He is creepy, okay? So we use this word creep to talk about people who they're not bad or evil, but they're odd, they're unpleasant, they're just awkward kind of, they make you feel unpleasant, okay? They make you feel awkward, they make you for whatever reason, they give you this bad feeling, okay? And the last one is when we talk about somebody who says something and then says something to your face and then talks behind your back. We call them two-faced. So we can say they're a two-faced jerk or a two-faced cow. This one is used a lot too. So if you say somebody is a two-faced cow, it means that they lie to people behind their, they lie to people and then they talk behind their back. So they're nice to you in front of you, but then behind your back they say some mean things to you, okay? So when you're not there, they're always talking, they're saying things that are bad, but when you're there, they're like, oh, you're such a nice person, it's so good to be here. You call them a two-faced cow or just a two-faced person. So you say Tom is two-faced. Tom is a two-faced cow, okay? So these are our expressions we can use to talk about some bad people. Obviously, these are not polite to say to somebody to their face. Usually we use them to talk about somebody, when they're not there, because we don't want to be impolite, okay? So I'm going to turn on comments and you guys can ask me any questions that you have. Like I said at the beginning, there are a lot of expressions in the English language. So there's obviously a lot more than these. I'm just talking about some of the common ones so you can, know what they mean. If you hear it, you know what it means. You don't have to use it, especially the last part we talked about. It's usually not very polite to say this to somebody unless you're really mad at them. In Persian, we have two-faced too. Oh, cool. I actually didn't know that. But yeah, two-faced, I think it's a very common expression in a lot of languages because, somebody who shows you a polite face and then behind your back, they're like, oh man, that guy. Usually everybody calls them two-faced. And it's because, it's not a nice thing to do to people, okay? So if there are no more questions, I'm going to end today's session a little bit early, like I said. I'm going to try and post my notes as soon as possible. So I'm going to post them in my story for you guys to check out. If you want to write it down, you can write it down then. Um, the YouTube video for previous session is uploaded, so go take a look at that if you missed it or if you want to review it. Creepy, yeah, creepy is the basically adjective where when we want to use creep as a noun, we just say creep. When we want to use it as an adjective, we say creepy. So we say Tom is creepy or Tom is a creep. Okay? That is the difference between the two. When we say creepy, we're using it as an adjective. When we say creep, we're using it as a noun. So if Tom is somebody who makes you feel unpleasant, you say Tom is a creep. Okay? Or that guy Tom is very creepy. In my view, honestly, is better. Yeah, I agree with you. I don't think being two-faced is very good, but you know, unfortunately, there are people who are two-faced. Uh, the problem, Mojtaba, is that the story, if it gets too long, it's hard to read because the font gets smaller. I tried to do a little bit of explaining like in the story before it, but I'll see what I can do about that, okay? I'll try to do that for you. The point of those notes is if you go back and watch my video, you have those notes and you can add anything you want in front of it yourself, okay? But I'll try to add a little bit more information to it for sure, okay? All right, guys, thank you very much for joining me this morning. It makes me really happy to see you guys here. I look forward to doing this, you know, as long as we have the quarantine. I'm going to be going live again tomorrow at 11, so please come back and join me. Please let your friends know. If you have any friends who want to learn English, if you have any family who want to learn English, let them know. Let them know to come join me. I would love to have more people in here to talk to and to have questions to ask. It's really nice of you guys. You know, I know it might be a little bit early in the morning because nobody has work to do, so everybody likes to sleep in. So look forward to my videos on YouTube. I'm going to post this one. If you're just joining in, I'm going to post this one. It's going to be available on Instagram for 24 hours, so you can watch it again. And I will post the story at some point with my notes. I don't know exactly when, so I'm not going to make any promises, but I'm going to post it definitely today, okay? Have a good day, guys. Take care of yourselves and study hard.